I'm Carrie Wilson. I'm a Quapaw Indian, and today we're going to tell you about a fireball. And I never had any personal encounters with this, but I've been talking to people, and this is something I had never heard about the Quapaws before, so it's a new story for me, so I'm going to share it with you. I was interviewing an older Quapaw man, and he was telling me about this ball of flames. Of course, we're here with the spook light. It's kind of like spook light, but it's actually a ball of flames. And you can see those flames around that ball. And it's around Devil's Promenade. And it hasn't appeared that anybody I've talked to in a long time. And maybe that some Quapaws or people who lived around Devil's Promenade, Quapaw, Oklahoma would remember, or actually may have known this. But I haven't heard the stories, so I'm kind of putting it out there in case somebody, they've encountered this too. But it lived around the bridge at Spring River near the Quapaw Powwow grounds, and so it would appear sometimes on the west side of the river and sometimes on the east side of the river. Sometimes it wasn't on the river but inland. And it appeared one time outside a person's barn, and you could see it was just a big yellow gold ball of flames around it. And this man that was telling me about the story, he was a Quapaw, and he said that you could see it. He would go fishing down around Spring River, and he said one time he was down there and he was on the west side, and it came just kind of just appeared. It would roll, and it was on the west side of the Spring River, and right across it was an area they call Lover's Leap, and right down from that is an area they call the Devil's Walkway. And anyway, this ball went in the river, and it came out on the other side, and it was just rolling along, and it was going up that Lover's Leap just as if somebody was climbing up those stairs. And then it would just kind of disappear. Anyway, then there was an area that had kind of an old bridge remains or something like that, and it would kind of like it lived down there, it would stay down there. And people used to see it when they go fishing around those banks. They'd see that ball of flames. Haven't seen it in many years, but he was telling me a story that when he was older and he was driving a car, he would go across that old rickety wooden bridge from one side of the river to the other. And this big ball of flames appeared, and it was kind of rolling behind his car. And he was scared, but he was going slow because that bridge was kind of rickety. And that ball just rolled along and followed him. So he got way on the other side, and he was scared, and he thought about it, and he goes, "Did I really see that? Was that really there?" So he got brave and turned his car around, and he went on the other side. He looked back. Here was that big ball of flames rolling behind him. And he got so scared he was on the wrong side of the river then. So he ended up having to drive all the way into Kansas and all the way back around to Quapaw, Oklahoma to get to his house. And that was the last time he respected it from then on. But haven't heard anybody tell that story before. I'm just really kind of intrigued with it. And I think that if those two people saw it, I know too, there's got to be others out there too who've seen it. Mm. And they also say that on that river, in that same area, those little people reside. Mm. You know, and so there was always areas there when I was growing up that they said you don't go over there. And I never questioned them. I was always good. I always stayed out of that because they told me too many stories. I didn't want to encounter anything like that.
Well, I definitely want to say aho and mado.